Welcome to another episode of the One-on-One podcast. My name is Sofia and I'm your host. Now, you're probably looking at the setup. It is very different, and you're looking at my hair. We are very different. I feel like I'm just in another different era of me. So welcome. I'll introduce kind of why this is happening from the last episode, because everything's different, okay? We've just been going through some life transitions, but that is all about being one of one. But I don't want to ramble on too much about me. Today is a very special day because I have a very special guest here on the One-on-One podcast. You know that this podcast is all about bringing entrepreneurs, business owners, founders, and just regular human beings, but they are one of one. And I really think that there's something to say about my guest on this podcast today, Natasha Zoryk. She is one of one, and we'll go into so much that you need to know about her, but everything that Natasha does, she slays. And just from following her and knowing, the back end, this is the first time we're meeting, but from her story as a government employee to a CEO to a multiple business owner, a 7-figure business mentor, speaker, educator, like all the things that she does, what stands out to me is that there is no one that does what she does. And everything that she does it with excellence. So I'm really excited to sit here with her on this hot seat. Like, this feels nice and cozy up to just hear from you, share kind of just the raw, the authentic, the truth behind who you are, what you do, and all the things that our viewers just need to listen to, especially when it comes to running a business. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's, we were literally just talking how it does not feel like it's the first time. I'm like, hi, yeah, comfortable, we know this. It's fun. No, thank you so much. I'm so excited. And a little formal intro, Natasha Zoryk. I started my business when I was 21. 2019, and I was in the government for 4 years, and it was great. It was Ottawa, Canadian gals here, Canadian listeners. It's a government town, right? And so the goal, I went to Ottawa, I took home some business, and the Ottawa dream, I like to say, is getting that government job. Mm-hmm. And so she was secured first year university. I'm like, oh, she's made it. Global affairs. I was like, okay, we're set. And then I'll never forget, I got my contract. I was about to walk the stage, and I got a $61,000 contract. Come on, at 21, that's
the dream.
I was like, okay, that's my boss's salary at that point. What I mean? It doesn't, unless you're a director, that's where you go in the government. So I felt amazing, but also I didn't at all. It was that moment of, okay, big girl decisions. What's my career path going to be? I had no idea. And a simple favor for a friend turned into a business. And here I am, 3 times founder now, from designer, three designer to business coach, design agency, digital marketing agency to business coach, speaker, still presently that, and then also now tech founder. But that's my little spiel.
I love that. And I was listening to, I remember your podcast I don't listen to a lot, I have 3 or 4 saved, and then you, and your story, I remember you said you designed your friend's website for the, a business cosmetics. And you're like, oh, and then, you could charge for that. And I feel like that was the aha moment for you of being like, I can do something else on my own. I didn't personally go to school right off of high school, but I think you did share, a lot of us are told to follow this dream of going to school, getting the grades, getting the business degree, walking out, landing the job, and then climb the corporate ladder. And you said 3 months in to freelancing and having your design agency, you were like, I'm going full time. What was that shift for you like?
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember 2017, I still have it in my notes now, on good old iCloud. I had no idea how to make $10,000. $10,000 at the time was mine. I'm a millionaire. 7 figures. Absolutely. Yeah. I have made it, and I can retire now at the big old age of 21 if that happens. It was mind-blowing to me, but I had that 2017. And then fast forward to 2019, my first month of business, why things happened so fast was because things happened so fast. I hit $10,000 my first month. And I do have to give so much credit to Jen, because she did have a great big platform. She built an amazing business, and that sheer exposure set me up for so much success. It was referral based.
Yeah.
So it was a one referral into the next. And after month 1, I sat down and I looked at my rinky-dinky, janky little Excel sheet at the time. I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, great. And I saw that I made a little over 10K. I couldn't believe it. And then the next month, 10K, the third month, 10K. And I said, that's it. I'm done. I'm leaving. And the universe is so funny because at the time, I don't know if you heard about the Phoenix issue with payments with the government. They weren't paying their people.
Oh, okay.
It's horrible. I was in university and I wasn't making money. They weren't paying me. They owed me 10K. And so it's funny how everything worked out. And it was at that time of feeling what is supposed to be a secure job. When I sat there, I'm like, wait, this actually is not giving secure. It's giving broke. It's giving not thriving. And so that moment when things were thriving in this entrepreneurship, journey that I was so blind to and new and kind of just, I didn't have many expectations, which was a good thing too. At the same time, my secure job, it made it very easy to walk away from because it wasn't. But things happened really quickly because the referrals, Jen's business was a great success. It got me into the beauty industry. That was mainly who I designed for. Love my beauty industry. And I still work with a ton now in my mentorship. But it was a whirlwind. And after 3 months of just straight designing, I turned it into a digital marketing and design agency because of the success. And I know you can relate to this. If you get like a lot of questions on socials, you're like, okay, how can I turn this into an offer or a passive or make this profitable because you're spending so much time in the DMs replying to people. And so passive income became my thing, and selling courses, ebooks, that was like all the rage. I mean, it's kind of circled back now.
It sounds like you got into that before it was like you got passive income and all the ebooks and digital products, which is like on the high rise now. But I know you had that way before also your social experiment too. So you were kind of building all that before. I feel like a lot of people don't do this, but it's like what you did was you listened to the needs of people around you. Honestly, that's how I built my business. And I have a very, I guess, not similar story, but I was bartending at the time and I was just documenting everything. I have a very bad memory, so I record everything. And I loved filming, but I was in network marketing as well at the time. And people kept saying like, you're really good at this recording thing or content creation. I was like, oh, I could charge for this. Like, that is interesting. And that's actually how I got into it. But it was listening to what people around me were saying, like, I'm not good with social media. I'm not good with building my brand, or I'm struggling with this. I didn't know how to build a business. I didn't know how to build an offer. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing some days, to be honest. But literally what you said, it's you listen to what people were saying and you built it for yourself. So now you could do it for other people. So obviously I did my homework. It was Enza designing.
Yeah.
Okay. That to business mentorship. I guess because for me, here's how I see it. Everyone's a business coach now. Everyone's a business consulting. Almost like everybody has a life degree in business. And it's really hard to kind of weed out, what a good business coach and mentor looks like. And even I also think on the other side, it's like, are you even ready for one? Mm-hmm. Two, what were your thoughts when you transitioned into that of being like, you know what, not screw this digital marketing thing, but it's like, how do we take a step up? Because the 10K months are cool, but like you said, 10K in 2021 versus 10K now in 2024, 10K is red, baby.
Yeah.
So
as the ginger on.
So 10K, yes, we can glamorize it, but also you don't really profit 10K either.
Yeah,
so
for all the bills.
So that, I guess, maybe that financially was also a jump for you too. So I guess walk me through that, because I'm in a similar state of being like, when it comes to pivoting and shifting.
Oh yeah.
How did that work for you?
If there's one thing I will do, it's pivot and shift and do it quick. The second I get that gut feeling, and from working with so many founders now, I work with a lot of people who are in a pivot, in a shift, because they've seen me shape and shift over the years.
A shapeshifter.
A little shapeshifter. Yeah. But no, it was the summertime. There's always something in the summer for me. It's weird. Around July, August, I'm like, oh, okay, we need to start changing. I had this feeling, and I remember there was one project, loved working on it, but I was like, if I have to design one more damn website, no thank you. And so I just had that decision, and that was around July, and then I stopped taking clients. I finished off my projects in August. And again, the universe is so funny how it works out. I was forced into the mentorship abruptly because I got disabled, and this is a big lesson for everyone listening.
She got hit by a bus.
No.
Or was that when you got...
No, that's after. That led me into my speaking career.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was always like a catastrophic event that led into like my big butterfly moment. Yeah, so it's like I see it now. If you're ever going through something really bad, like
You'll get laugh.
no, it's so funny. It's so funny. I'm Regina George. I got hit by a bus, like flattened in the army of the angels. Yeah, but no. So I got disabled on Instagram not once. But
on Instagram. Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't the bus, just that's the year after that. No.
Okay.
So I got disabled on Instagram, and it was the most catastrophic thing, right? Because at that time, the rage of 2019, 2020 was, and still is, like the Instagram business, the Instagram coach. You saw a lot more of that, less omnipresent. And so at the time, I was building passive income and an email list, but I wasn't consistent with my emails as much. It was just funnels. And it was still new. Like I scaled very quickly to multi-six figures with my design and digital marketing agency due to the passive income, due to the digital marketing side. And so, fast forward, I got disabled not once, twice. One was the middle of my launch, which was projected to be my first six-figure launch. It was catastrophic. And it was the best thing that has ever happened to me because it, one, made me realize I had an Instagram business and it shot me into my omnipresent marketing era, which, believe it or not, I know you have followed me in recent years. I was like content queen. I had the YouTube, I still have a podcast, but the Facebook group, I had everything. I was like, you are never going to take my business from me ever again. It was very scary and a huge wake up call for a lot of people. And it was the Facebook Lives that got me into like confirmed, okay, I'm meant to do this. Like I love teaching live. It was such a passion. And so from being disabled on Instagram, I started doing a bunch of Facebook Lives. I started really, really challenging myself, my content, my skills, growing and being seen. And so that was a really beautiful but tiring journey. And I quickly decided to launch and step into private coaching, sold it out within like a day. It was great because the digital marketing, I had a lot of interest for about a year. He was saying, do you do private coaching? Do you do coaching yet? What's going on? Like, I know you're just passive. It was a beautiful transition.
Yeah, it was like introduction. Like it was like organic.
Yeah, and because I actually had business acumen, I had business skills going into it. I built, a multi-six-figure company before deciding, I can mentor people.
Yeah, you didn't just wake up one day and you're like, I can teach you how to run your business. Yeah. It was more than that.
And that's why to this day I work with a lot of service pros and I love my designers. I love my girlies because I had the service pro experience and I had also the marketing experience. So it was kind of a peace of mind. But I transitioned into it because of the catastrophic being disabled on Instagram. And it was, such a good lesson. And it just shot me into creating my first program, No Figures to Six Figures.
Yes.
And it was a huge success.
Is there anything you were listening to at the time or like reading? Because like maybe some people always think that things are outside of us. I know that's the thing for me. It's like I always have to take a new course or I have to read a new book or I have to listen to a podcast. Like it always seems like I can only get this level of information outside, but it sounds like for you it was like an internal thing. And that's where I feel like a lot of people don't tap into their intuition or their gut that's like it's time to move and you may not know what the heck you're doing but it's like just move the needle, close a chapter and get it going. But were you like, did you have a coach at the time? Like what was that like?
No, I to this day I've never had a business coach.
Oh wow,
that's a hot take. I have a whole podcast episode on my most controversial secret, if you want to say. And as a literal business coach who sees how life-changing it is, I've had a transformational coach. I hired my first one in 2023.
Okay.
But it's why I preach so much about, I call it entrepreneurial IQ, where you have that critical thinking. You almost eliminate, I can't say eliminate, but you really minimize imposter syndrome and always looking outside of yourself. If you're always looking for that validation, and I'm not saying to not have a coach. Again, I have seen every single day since starting this, the power of it, even just my peers who are business coaches. I firmly believe in it. And at the time, you said podcasts and books. I was really having it to like psych books at the time and still am. No, there was no coach during that phase. And because I really wanted to test things out and see what felt right. And if I really don't look at failure as failure. My failure-filled moments were literally the catalyst to the most amazing changes. The reason for my pivots, fast pivots, successful pivots, because it's just about perspective. And so when you could label it as a failure, I said, oh, okay, let's take a quick strategy-filled analysis and let's analyze this and say, okay, what can I do different to really excel, and what can I take and not take from this? And it's just a matter of deciding, okay, this is not going to be a failure. But yeah, I didn't have a coach just yet because it was my bread and butter. I felt so at home with the strategy, with the psychology. I did marketing in my government job for 4 years. I managed some of the biggest promotional campaigns in Canada. And so it served me so well. I didn't have that feeling or pull towards any coach. And I wasn't, just because the space honestly shoves it down your throat. I will never say you have to have a coach, especially 24/7. There's seasons for it. There's moments. I didn't have that pull. The truth is, I'm not just going to do it because the space so heavily pushes it.
Yeah.
So I trusted my gut, and it's worked out really well.
I love that. I think it is shoved down people's throat. I'm not going to lie. As somebody who, yes, I had a business coach when I started, but that was, to me, it was almost like because I had no idea what I was doing. I always shared, I'm like, I literally quit my job.
Yeah.
The pandemic hit. I shut down my dance studio.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, this content thing's working out, but I don't want to do network marketing forever. It's not my thing. It felt like that hand holding that I needed to be like, let's do this. And yeah, with a coach, I strongly believe that like what you can do with a coach is transformational if you allow it to be.
Yeah.
Because it's also, I always say, like, I think my experience has just shown me that you have to be ready to have a coach. You have to be ready to receive support. Even for me, like even my clients that hired me for content creation, I'm like, you have to be ready for that. Because if I do your content and you're not ready to launch out, then you just have a bunch of cute little nice videos in your folder and that's it. But you're not actually ready to take the next step. So I do love what you're saying, because my journey has always been about external validation. And I'm in a season where through therapy and with God and just with my circle, I'm really leaning into, I have everything that I need to thrive. And I was telling you before that like I'm pivoting, and those are signs. Like I think a lot of us need to listen to more of that, of saying like, it's time to pivot, and it's going to look scary. Like the first time you ride a bike, or when you go and choose your major or minor in school, like all those things. But I don't want to like tap into the recent stuff that's going on, because that amazes me. Like I think all your success has been like a setup for now. Yeah. And like, it just seems like everything has been like from watching you the outside, you don't post a lot. Like your life is so secretive and so like
mysterious.
Like, Natasha's at the Stairmaster, but then you're launching. But hold on, you didn't even have to post like 3 slides. Like everybody, you post like a black screen with some text, and this girl sells out her programs. So for me, I'm like, I watch you so strategically in a non-creepy way. I'm saying like you're doing. Like other people struggle to launch. Other people struggle to sell out. What makes you one-on-one? Like really tell me what's your secret sauce behind like you literally people paying you $20K to work with you within the first hour of following you, and then working with you like and seeing the kind of people that are in your masterminds too.
My girlies that I attract, I love them so much. It's such a beautiful, supportive, and uplifting energy that's in my community. It's so funny. My lawyer too, she's from Toronto. Yeah. She's like, girl, I study you. I've been watching you. And so many of my past clients have said that. They're like, me, stalker. Yep. Full-heartedly. Yep. Can admit it. It's so funny because it evokes this curiosity, because it is very different. And it's literally in my bio. And it's what actually my current mastermind's about, is being untraditional with your marketing. And it is such a beautiful journey of looking at the path that I've had, of really just having fun, testing things out. It's not that deep. If it doesn't work out, if you feel a nudge to switch, do it. Literally, that's why I love the word audacious. Like follow your audacious goals. Even if it's delulu, you don't have all the next steps, do it, because it creates such a beautiful opportunity. And again, in the space, there is this pressure to be a certain way or follow certain rules. And I think it robs you of your greatness at times. If you take what you need, but you don't, especially don't take what you don't need. And you're just like, you know what, I receive this well, but I don't receive it all. And so, yeah, journey. I mean, right, so tech company launched Azura. It's a communication app. Because let's face it, the apps we use, very spooky, very frightening. Boxers, the Slack, like a lot of them are great to some degree, but they weren't built for us. And the aesthetics, my girl, it couldn't clash more with our brands. And coming from the designing aspect, it's like I knew from the creative side what people needed and wanted. I knew from the strategy side because I'm mentoring and speaking. And so I combined and fused that together. So it's been a beautiful transition. That was a complete ramble because your whole point was, tell me Tell me about your secret
It's okay. Tell me about your secret sauce, and then we'll talk about Azura because I'm like, I honestly put everybody on. I'm just like, oh, we're talking. No, you need Azura, babe. Like, what do you? Oh, no, you need Azura. So, but that is also it goes into it. Like, people talk about you. Yes. People want to work with you, and they'll figure it out, or they just sign quickly. So, yeah, what's your secret sauce?
Yes. Sorry. Back to the main point. If that happens again, forgive me. The secret sauce, it's honestly the psychology and relationships, like authentic, genuine relationships. The moment I sat down, when I first started, I thought I had to be like a Jenna Kutcher, right? The prim and proper, or just everything so business oriented. Because I will be the one laughing in the room, like big cackle, hugging you, best friends with like my best friend's parents. Like I'm the one, I'm very extroverted, and I was like, how do I show this really silly side to myself while also being seen as an authority? And so my secret sauce has honestly, the backbone is laughter in my business. It really is. Like, I don't care if you just followed me, like you're going to get a big fat LMAO, you're going to get a voice message. If it's not perfect, I won't delete it. Like I'll send it and start cackling at myself in my ears, and it disarms. But a big one is honestly my people first approach to sales backed with psychology. I heavily prioritize expressive buyers, and that's what the social experiment was about, was building it, really loving on my expressive buyers and creating that energy. And with buyer psych, that's like your ride or dies. They're your cheerleaders. They're your recurring clients. It's like your little army behind you. And they really care about being a great client. It creates a really awesome energy between you and the client and relationship, but also your community. They really connect together. And so that was a priority. And I did that through, again, genuine connections, like by leading by example. In this space, oftentimes I think people want the raging community. They want the engagement. They want the fun connections, amazing communities. What are you doing to facilitate that? Like I'm a firm believer that you set the tone to so much. The relationship, how you're treated in your personal life, with your parents, with your best friends, with your neighbor, whatever it is, right? Same thing in your business. And so that's the secret sauce, is laughter is the backbone of my business, and really understanding how to cultivate a genuine community, not only within yourself and who you're dealing with, but the people within it, even beyond yourself. When you're away, they connect together.
That's something I notice a lot in your programs, is that even though they're all, a lot of, like you said, you work with service pros, some of them are even in the same industry, but it isn't like a competitive thing. It's like they're actually become besties. And it's so nice to see that even without you, even if you left, you still left the impact on them to connect, to even have each other on their, as a speaker or as a guest on, like, you're going to be speaking at Maya's event. Like, all those little things for me, I'm like, it goes to show that it's not just a transactional thing for you. And I wonder, like, is there ever a time that you get like exhausted? Because I do believe that cultivating community and friendships and organic, like natural relationships can be exhausting. I think especially in the nature of social media, I experience it, and I'm very open about it, saying like, listen, I show a lot. Like, there is no curiosity to my life. I'm the opposite. I post like 30 stories a day. You know what I'm doing, what I'm eating, where I'm at. But it does get exhausting. It does. And it almost feels like we take on a lot of people's, because it's your business, right? And it's people's businesses. I feel responsible for my clients, and even just people I don't know that are in my DMs. Do you get tired, or do you get exhausted? And how do you navigate building those relationships and almost like, I want to say, I don't like the word balance, but yeah, like structuring that for yourself?
For sure. I've had seasons, like 2023 was my best financial. I worked with so many powerful people in 2023. It was a beautiful year, but it was a big year in terms of capacity, which led into the pivot of being like, okay, something needs to change. And that's when I built the app. But yeah, for sure, no matter what, even if the vibes are good, even if there's so much love, respect, you're still holding space for 60 plus people. You're still holding space. And mentorship is a beautiful, beautiful experience, same with speaking, but that's energy going out, right? That you gotta defrost at some point. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, as amazing as it can be, we were talking about before the cameras were on, we were saying how
at our own time.
On our own time. Yeah. We were saying you kind of become a part-time therapist at times. It can be, when you do have the expressive buyers, to draw the line of, okay, personal to business relationship, when you really start to build a great connection. So yes, I have had seasons or moments where I'm like, woo, I need to take a break, you know, because you are on, you're talking, you're not only holding space for people, but you got to make money. You got to teach them, mentor after a call, you know, it's like, whew. So absolutely. I think if anyone says, no, I feel great 24/7, girl. Yeah. Be for real.
Yeah.
No.
So authentically and like vulnerably, what do you do when that hits? Because I also think you do showcase, like you do share. Like I love your dog, but you do share. I think we all do. But you do share, like you do have some wonky days, let's call them, or just like moments. What do you do?
Yeah, family time. I'm a huge family guy. I know you are too, right? You big homebody.
I'm not a homebody, but I love my family.
Yes.
I hate being home. Yeah. But I'm outside.
That's what I need. I'm outside.
With my family.
Yeah, kids. I'm catching plays. Yeah. Thank you. Definitely amazing quality time. My best friend's behind the camera right now. Love you. Bestie time. And also, just defrosting as a whole. Like, I will not go on my stories. One thing about me, I am quality over quantity. And so if I say I had a post that day, or I was planning to show up or do something, I'm like, nope. Instagram won't blow up. My community will not hate me. It's okay. And time again, that has been proven, and tenfold, like beautiful things will happen when I listen to myself and I don't just push and lean into the burnout and facilitate it.
Yeah.
Because we can do that and it's okay. I hate this term, but like hustle culture, I love her, respect it. Totally am in that world, but at times it can create this unbalance, right? Work life. And so anyways, I just listen to myself. I'll tap in, tap out when I need, and I'll surround myself with people and environments that are chicken soup for the soul, and that'll feel good.
That's so good. I think even, like you were asking me if I ever have like days where I just shut off, and I don't. I think it's hard when it's almost like, I don't know if this happens to you, but people do look, or so I think, maybe I'm just creating this in my mind, and actually maybe it's not even real, but I feel like I am a mirror to what people look to as like, what should I be posting on social media today? So I feel the pressure of like, if I don't post, then somebody else isn't going to post today. So I almost feel like responsible. And so that's why I think it messes with my brain of being like, no, you got to show up, or like I'm on. But I've had, just like you, like I've had seasons where I'm offline, and those are like my best moments of creativity, because then I'm not posting or creating from a place of burnout and from a place of lack. And I think anytime that I've hired or worked with anyone or needed to get a client because I couldn't pay my bills, that came from a place of desperation has been the worst things I could have ever done for myself, because it never ends up working out. It ends up being in scarcity and desperation and lack, and being like, I don't have. And you attract the worst literal people. So yeah, something I like really want to do. And I think it maybe crosses a lot of people's minds. Like, what if I take a break from my business? You obviously had to do that. And I think for me, I'm like, I do want to take a break, but it's like, we think about money. We think about, our community. Like, are they going to go? Are they going to find somebody else? And so what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to challenge you, girlfriend. I'm going to challenge you.
Nobody ever challenges me.
Yeah, I know. Again, you were saying that before too. You're like, you're a trainer. So yeah, I'm training you.
Yeah.
No, not today. Quickly too, because think of how you're feeling when you constantly are in that burnout phase, or you feel like you have to show up and you say you're a mirror. To mirror that to people, right? Because they can feel that energy.
Yes.
And you are endorsing that go, when in all reality, who the heck wants to be 24/7? And also, I promise you, your people are going to be so gracious and like a breath of fresh air when you can take a break and say, listen, I don't need to be on 24/7 to be that girl. I don't need to be constantly the next best thing. That's the pressure that you work putting on yourself, which I understand fully. It's the online space is so go. The times that I've made the most money, the most impact, and honestly sat in my leadership the most is when I pulled back, is when I cut out the noise or the expectation. I said, I'm going to do what might not be traditional, or what might, you feel like your Instagram's going to blow up, or your community is going to not stand by you because you're not as active. It was the biggest permission slip, breath of fresh air, lessons, connection-filled conversations, most meaningful relationships came from that experience because I led by example and I did the scary thing first. And you completely like get rid of those little battles in your mind telling you that it's going to be this one way, right? And it's so valid, but truly, like, how can you keep showing up for people if your cup is like, right?
And I think in every industry that even my clients, I think it's so important because people look to us, people look to you, people look to me, and you're right. Like, I don't want to show you that you have to show up 24/7 and it feels like this. Because it really doesn't. I just do too much. Like, I just do too much. But that's why I created my offer. Like, my offer was like, I'll take time away from you, from the social media thing, because I know how it feels. I mean, I'm creating content every day. I know how it feels. So I think there's a huge pivot happening here. And I do have a moment, like, in the next couple of months, these 2 months, and I'm like, I actually do get to take a break. I wonder if I'll do it. Like, I wonder if I'll actually do it end of April and middle of May, that I'm supposed to be offline, and I'm struggling with it.
You could also you could set the systems up, my friend. You could set the systems up to be, that was the experiment where I was present. You felt like you knew me and I was present even though I wasn't at all. And it's, so you can set that up, right? And I think it's just that shift in perspective and just knowing that it's the unknown of how to set things up to be truly like working for you behind the scenes. Because when it's in real time, active, live, like there really is only one of you and you have you have a hand in so many different pots, right? You are a huge component to so many people's businesses, but there's only one you. And at times it's just like, you imagine how you could show up if you were, say, more selective over that like really hands-on like TLC type of work, and then you had things rolling in the background, right?
That's a dream, and it has happened to me in some occasions. There are some things that do, and it makes me so happy of being like, oh, I didn't even have to. I did that once, and you know, it's rolling in. So I think I'm in a season to lean into more of that, because when I focus so much on client-focused work, I let go of my stuff, and I think we all have to remember that. Yes, clients are great, but you come first at the end of the day. So yeah, I let go a lot of my offers, a lot of my ideas, a lot of my visions, because I got so busy with client work. I think I just got into this cycle of these 10K months and then 20K months, but it's like, they're all like charging your worth, like all those things of like, sure, I can. And I think you and some other people showed me like, you can have one client that pays you 20K. And instead of having 10 clients that pay you 2, it's like, there's a difference. So that's, I think, my next reiteration of my business. And I'm really excited to see kind of where that goes. But let's transition to Azura, because so far I love it. And the app's getting ready to come out. It's like the people that I do have on my team in and out love it too. And everybody I have communications with. But do you feel like the tech space is where you're going to like shift in? Or, well, you're already in it. But like, how does it feel now that you're already like,
I know it's really humbling. It's very humbling, but in a good way, because we're in our business, we're so hands-on, right? Like you can get down and dirty with the systems. You can, 2 seconds, pull on the side of the road, fix this. Oh, it's good, right? You're in control in so many ways. Tech, no, I don't know how to code. I don't know how to do that. I don't have access to the back-end system. You know what I mean? So it's been a really fun experience. And yeah, I'm definitely going to go there. My Natasha Zoryk brand, the mentorship is definitely shifting in preparation, especially for Maya's summit. Totally scaling back. I started running a mastermind right now. We're launching it out of sheer passion and wanting to do it, but that's the only live offer I'm going to do. So I went from like basically all live, a few passive things. So I'm scaling back and doing low ticket funnels, going back almost to my roots of I had a passive profits course before the funnel stuff. So I'm really leaning into that more educational base, not mentorship. Speaking is a big one, because the focus is with Azura. And I knew in my, call it Delulu, but I knew in my gut that it was going to be very successful from the jump, because it's a need, not one, not like it covers a multitude of desires from founders in the space, from wanting a sexy, sleek app, wanting to be able to make it look like your own, wanting it to have features that are actually for our unique work that we do, whether you're a service or creative, right? So I saw the gaps, and Azura does fill that. So that's going to be a big focus. We just now, I think we're almost even at 1,400.
You know, I saw.
Yeah, great. Like
that's unreal.
Yeah,
I was the first person
first person. That on record. First person. I was like, okay, love you.
I was telling him, like, I still don't think I'm using it to the fullest. And that's where, like, I love how you can take it. Like, you can literally, like, use it for just the chat, or you literally take it and systemize it how you teach people to do. So I just love how creative. And for me, I'm like, when things look nice, I feel like I can just get things done better.
Right.
And it just makes sense. So I love that. And I think, honestly, I do believe that, and it's proven, like you see Amazon, you see Netflix, like these subscription based, but even online SaaS software, it's like you're doing what, like you're ahead of the curve. Mm-hmm. My little brother, he's always like, Sofia, like you should invent this like content thing. Da, da, da. And I'm like, I don't know coding, I don't know this, I don't know that, but you're a visionary. So I think a lot of us need to lean in on that, is that we're visionaries and we don't need to know the how. We just need to share the vision with somebody. And I love that you have such a great team, because it inspires me to see that you're not a one-woman show, but it also gives the opportunity for other people to thrive in their zone of geniuses. And then you do what Natasha Zoryk does best. And it's like you birth, you create, you envision, and people execute. So have you, like, I don't know, I have a control problem. I think this is my thing. Like, I'm very, like, I want to be in control of everything, but I also, like, would love to one day be able to fully trust, like, go ahead, like, this is what I think and this is what is executed. How has that process been like for you? Like, are you controlling? Are you, like, do you let people do their thing?
I'm a recovered perfectionist. Well, then she laughed. That's a little white lie, I think. But no, I tap into that feeling. I interviewed extensively 5 developers to gather like a base information. I have no idea. I don't know what I literally thought building an app was like multi-millions. Like, I thought it was so great. Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't pay multi. It was expensive, but it was multi-millions. Mm. And so it was completely new space, tech, right? An app wouldn't. So I got my North Star, if you want to say, and my compass of, okay, here's expected budget, here's XYZ, right? But with that, when I found Marikite, I had that feeling. And so in terms of like letting go of control and all that, it's about hiring quality people. And again, not being very impulsive, like really sitting with it and saying, does this actually make sense energetically? For me, I'm a huge relationship person because I hate micromanaging. The moment in my mentorship business, the moment I realized people could do my job better, faster, quicker, I scaled sustainably, and I scaled being able to take Mondays off for having my CEO day, finishing work early on Fridays, weekends off. Like, I had that's why NS6F, I'm so proud of that one program, because truly I can say it's sustainably scaled. But the second I realized when I can stay on my craft and master that craft, which means the actual work of showing up and supporting people in their business, talking about the psychology, but not taking control of the systems or the client communication, if it's, say, the back end stuff. And I hired, even though I was a designer, hiring a designer that I fully trust. And also, it's even creating leadership within your team and telling them, I trust you. I give you full creative freedom. I'm here to guide you and support you, but like, I need you to know I trust you, and let's do this together. That makes people do excellent work for you, and it makes people feel inspired. And it's about creating this energy with your team, with your circle, with the people around you, where they're, if not just as excited, more excited about your vision, because they start to create quality. And so that's what that was. And so I started to really, really care and love and nourish the people and team around me. And beautiful things, like even my OEM, I would say almost 100%, maybe like 1 or 2 clients in the past 2 years have been funneled through me. And we were just talking about it. We're so close. And I said, if I win, you win. If I eat, you eat. Like, you come to the top with me. Even my assistant, I said, no, I'm giving you a job here, and I know you have XYZ, but like, what will light your soul up? What am I not seeing that you would thrive the most at? Maybe there's a skill outside of your quote unquote job description that you could be amazing at. And just creating that safe space, it creates trust, it creates open communication, it creates inspiration. And so that's how I've been able to let go of control and again realize like people can do the job so much better, and I get to sit back
and reap the fruits of that.
Yes, and that comes down to the developers. I love them so much. They're 2 twins. I'm the 3rd twin. It is decided. I'm a part of the family. I love them so much, and it couldn't have been anyone else but them. And it even comes down to Kiara, the designer. You know, that too. I was like, me, like, I'm gonna design this, I totally can do it. Nope, it was amazing. And they've collabed on other projects too. Like, again, you set the tone, and so
it almost turned out better than like probably what you thought could ever even happen. Yeah,
for sure. And it's really inspiring your people and leading by example, and just if something happens, because it's going to happen, say they mess up or it's not your vision or something goes wrong, don't ever meet them with aggression. Sit down and be like, okay, one, how can I take accountability? How can I lead you better? What could I have done? There's so many ways you can learn from those experiences. It helps you sustainably scale. It helps you let go of that control, because so many founders face that, I think, is letting that go. So anyways, that was like a long spiel on that, but it's brought me to where I am today in Azura too.
Yeah, that's so good. So I love all of this. We are like almost at an hour, which is, we could chat. I think, the base thing for me is the amount of freedom that sometimes it looks like we have, like, oh yeah, like multiple 7 figures, 6 figures. It's like those words get thrown around so loosely. And then freedom, it looks like it's attached to it. Everyone wants to become an entrepreneur, wants to scale. But it's like, what is that one thing that you wish people knew about having a sustainable business, actually sustaining a business? Because I remember when I said, I hit $100,000 in my first 8 months as a content creator, which was huge. I've never seen that type of money before. My family has never seen that type of money before. And I think one of the biggest things is that I only really profited about 30K. Like, hello, like, you see the math? Like, it wasn't mathing. Even still now, I think I'm on track to my goal for 2024 and 2023, but it's like I didn't really sustain the income because being a business owner costs money. Like, what's that one thing that you wish people knew more about, like running a business, scaling, and having something that's more sustainable, that it doesn't actually like rip you apart?
Yeah. Where you high key present your business.
Yes, exactly.
I hear that all the time. Again, really tapping into that entrepreneurial IQ, just your inner self, and stop holding on to dear life to these ideas that were once amazing or once felt good. Truly don't be scared to let go of that big bold idea that you thought was going to be your $1 million idea. Don't be scared to shift your identity, shift your systems. If you created and had, say, a lot of time, effort, money, XYZ into one idea, and all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, you know what? No, don't fight against the current. Don't keep pushing if you know in your core that it's not going to serve you. Like, really lean into what is fueling you. And again, like, not holding on to dear life to these identities or these boxes you put yourself in or these labels, because there's so many ways, turns, shifts, pivots, things you can step into if you're open-minded. And again, like, it's a testament to the journey of switching from designer to mentor, then speaking as well, and then a tech space. And so that's the biggest one, I would say.
Yeah. And I love that you said, like, removing the titles and the labels. There's so many labels and titles attached to, even like, for me, I think I honestly started detesting the word like content creator and influencer. When people are like, yeah, she's a content creator, I'm like, I don't think I am anymore. Like, and I've even had photographers and videographers, like, people are calling me a content creator, and I'm like, no, like, I'm a videographer, I'm a photographer. Like, I don't, like, it almost feels like an insult sometimes, because it's like, everybody's just now picking up a phone and calling themselves a content creator and building an Instagram business and stealing the people who, I don't want to say this, but like, actually are experts. Like, I bought a camera, I'm not even gonna lie, I bought a camera, I have no idea how to use it, but one of my best friends who's a photographer, he looks at me and is like, this is ridiculous. Like, I've spent my whole life like having a photography business, and people are just coming in, like, buying a camera for $1,000 and shooting and like making a killing. And it feels a little bit of an insult, I'm not gonna lie. But sometimes the title, I think I have to shift out of the title being like, am I a content strategist? Am I a marketing strategist? Am I a digital marketing expert? Like, it messes with you, but you put yourself in a box of that's just who I am. And so I really think, like, beyond the title of what you do, it's about who you are. And I think a lot of people are in that space. I do sense like there's a huge shift and pivot in the online space where people are like, oh, I no longer want to be a content creator, but I want to be like a strategist or have like more passive offers. And then everyone's becoming a business coach. It almost seems like it climbs that ladder. So maybe that's my little stigma in not wanting to climb that ladder too. I'm like,
but be flexible. Be flexible and fluid throughout your journey. And also one big thing too, what you just said of that label or you're attaching, which I get it because of space. And I had so much resentment or assumptions around being a business coach. I was like, oh, I literally thought, I 100% thought that if I become a business coach, I'm going to become a shitty person. I'm going to steal people's money. It's going to be XYZ because that's the narrative.
Yeah. So you attach.
Yeah. Absolutely. But I sat there, it was like, eureka. I was like, what the hell? Like, aha moment. When I had a moment and I said, it's all about your intention. I said, that's not me. I said, you can be the change that you want to see, as cliche or cringy as that sounds. It's so true. And I said, I can add.
You can reinvent it.
You can, as long as you lead with love. And that's why I'm like so firm on sales and sales second, people first. It doesn't have to be icky. It doesn't have to be tacky. It's literally your energy and your approach. Who gives a shit what anyone else is doing? It comes down to you and your heart, and people will feel that. They'll see that. And so for you, same thing. Like, who cares about the label? It's the energy you're bringing, right? And it's the intention behind it. So just, stand firm on that too, because it's so easy to take in what people are saying or their thoughts, opinions, and internalize that as that's a fact, and it's not, right?
Yeah. So, and that's so huge, especially when I don't personally have this problem. Like, my family around me is very supportive. I never have to hear like, are you sure that's going to work? I've never had to hear that. I feel like I've always had a support. You share a little bit about your family too, that like they're your biggest cheerleaders as well, like your dad and your whole family. But I think we're our biggest critics, and we're always going to be our worst enemy, like our brain and what it does, but also our biggest cheerleaders as well. So we're going to wrap this up, but I want you to kind of like leave everyone with a final message. If there was something that you could tell anyone listening to this, what would that be? Especially when it comes around being one of a kind. Again, this is a one-on-one podcast, and I think you literally embody being one of a kind in all that you do. But yes, somebody who needs to hear, just like light them up, the Natasha Zoryk style.
Oh God, no pressure.
Light them on fire.
Oh my gosh. That crazy, like Delulu, audacious, bold idea, like go for it. Stop sitting on it. Stop looking for validation or approval. No, it's going to be amazing. Take the steps. You don't have to have everything figured out. It's a blessing that you don't, because I guarantee you the end goal that you see right now is super duper not going to be the end goal that it's going to become, because life is going to take you in so many different ways. And so that idea you're sitting on, that one that you've been contemplating, the one that you're ruminating on, just like take the steps, do it. And as cliche as it sounds, do it scared in a way. Definitely don't fake it till you make it. I do not conform to that, but follow that big audacious goal that's scaring you, because it's going to lead you down such an amazing path. And I would say that little permission slip.
So good. I think we all needed that permission slip. I don't know. I may pull up with like a new business idea. But thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful that you were just able to just bring this to real life instead of like, our Instagram stories and voice notes, because it's been surreal. But I want to thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, do all the things, share with your bestie, and just keep replaying this in your ear, because I'm sure that if you didn't need it today, you might need it tomorrow. And I will definitely be replaying this, but we just want to give a huge shout out to Game Changer Studios for having us here in this space. And if you're ever looking for a content studio, a podcast space, then you know where to go. And we'll see you next time at another episode of the One-on-One Podcast. Bye.
Bye.